Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Onsite Renovation Group for July 3rd, 2018. We're here at 3773 Lamar Way in Snellville, Georgia. Some of you may recall we were here last year and viewed this project before it actually, as it was just getting started. So we're back here today, going to see the finished product. It's fully staged and ready to go, and it's on the market. Just wanted to remind everybody at home, this Onsite Renovation Group is being sponsored by Baker Collins. They are hard money lenders, and they can fund your product in days, not weeks. So check them out at bakercollins.com. That's bakercollins.com, and they'd be glad to fund your deal. They were going to be here today, but couldn't make it due to a last-minute emergency. So check out bakercollins.com. Also want to remind everybody we're meeting now on the first and third Tuesday of every month at noon at real live job sites. So if you want to learn how to fix and flip properties, you definitely want to come check out this meeting for sure and see what other active investors are doing with their rehabs. Also, if you have any questions, please send them in via the Facebook comment section, and we'll do our best to get them answered live or right after the event is over. We do our best to try to answer them live if we can. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/OnsiteAtlanta. Facebook.com/OnsiteAtlanta. You can also watch replays of some of our past on-site renovation groups as well. Also, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Atlanta REIA. We also have meeting replays for the on-site renovation group loaded up there on our playlist, as well as the beginning investor group and the beginning investor group online. So if you want to see some meetings that you might have missed, check them out there. Also want to announce that on July 17th, that's the third Tuesday of this month at noon, we're going to be meeting over at one of Amy Ransdell's properties in Marietta, Georgia at 4165 Dunnington Drive. That's 4165 Dunnington Drive on July 17th. So come check that out. Amy's a very active investor here in the area and does a lot of really nice rehab. So we're going to go check out one of her projects. So you guys ready to get started? Let's do it.
Okay, you want me to get the crowd over now?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Don, you can unmute your mic whenever you're ready. What's up, everybody? Did you bring beer there? Oh, that's a Monster Energy drink.
Well, how are you? Good. No suit today. No suit today.
What's up, everybody? Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome.
I don't think. No, that's
Welcome.
new. That may have been one that's similar, but that's new.
Hey, Chrissy. Stick that back in the truck for me. I'm done with it. Thank you.
Yeah. Not a big suit. I'm not a big suit guy. Ever since I left corporate America, I don't wear suits. I don't wear ties. I don't wear suits. Not even funerals.
And a lot of people don't even wear dresses anymore. Women don't wear dresses. Things are more casual.
That's a good question. I don't know.
You get your mic on yet, Don?
It's on. I don't know.
All right.
That's a good question. It's right here. All right, before we go in, there's a little container here for your feet. So this is.
So leave your feet at the door or what?
Well, you can do one of two things. You can take your shoes off if you don't want to do that, or you stick your foot in that little machine right there, and it'll put a little booty on your foot.
That's pretty good.
So you get,
It's not my
Don's
gadget.
getting fancy. You got a booty
That's
machine.
not my gadget, believe it or not. If you can believe it or not, that is not my gadget.
I don't believe it.
Sounds
All right,
good,
so
doesn't it?
I'll give you a little history of this thing. This thing we bought, God, a year ago. Man, this seems like it's ancient.
We viewed this house in March of 2017.
Yeah, we may have, but I don't know. Did we own it then?
Yeah?
Did we own it then?
You'd already started on it.
Oh, did we?
You remember?
All right, so here's the scoop on this house.
Okay.
The scoop on this house is this was bought with a student. Before we ever got to the closing table, had to leave town.
Say hi to Mike. He's probably watching at home online.
Yes.
I like.
He moved to
He
Nashville.
moved to Nashville, so It just, so what we originally thought was going to be a $10,000 fluff job, because when we bought this house, it didn't look a whole hell of a lot different than what you see here, at least on the outside. The outside looked pretty much the same. But, you know, huh? Well, yeah, I mean, we did the usual stuff, paint, and, you know, but
The exterior wasn't painted.
the exterior wasn't painted, but it was the rough hardy plank, so which is basically the same color. So it didn't really look much different. If you ever see hardy plank at the Home Depot or wherever, it looks just like that without having paint on it. So the paint, that is painted, believe it or not. So, but once the real issue came in, once we got on the inside, we realized that we bought this from a couple that they had fire damage in there. They had a fire in here. Well, they came in, and whoever they hired to do all the work, on the surface, everything was closed up. And on the surface, it looked like all we had to do was come in and put some paint and carpet on it and fix a few things up. $10,000 fluff job. Not the case. Once we got in there, every single bit of wiring was done incorrectly. Plumbing was done incorrectly. I mean, God, the roof was leaking. It was done incorrectly. The roof trusses weren't done according to the permits, the code. So when we went to get all this, the permits for all this, we had to basically start over and redo everything. So, you know, that was part of it. Yes.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, and I apologize.
You won't put me on the spot.
Did you come through first and check it out yourself? Because I know you
I
were pretty
did.
thorough.
I did. I did, but the problem was you can't see it. You can't see plumbing once it's behind the walls. You can't see, you know, I don't go in, I don't know what I'm looking at in the attic. You know, like as far as roof trusses. Now, we did kind of know about the roof trusses. They needed what's called gussets, which is like it ties them in to get the permit. But then, you know, we started looking at electrical work and all this other stuff. And then at one point I was like, all right, when this house had walls, when we go inside, I'll tell you where the walls were. I don't have many before pictures. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, and we weren't doing Facebook Live back then, so we don't really have a lot of recordings either. I think I have some pictures.
I do have some, pardon.
If you guys check out the post I put up on the AtlantaREIA.com homepage, there's a link to the old meetup when we did this, and I uploaded a bunch of pictures. I did. And then you can also see the after pictures that we put
Where
up
is
on.
it? Where is it?
On the Atlanta REIA homepage, I linked back to the meetup group we did last year, and I uploaded a bunch of pictures back then, so you can see it.
So basically, that's
because originally when you'd walked in, there was a bunch of walls.
Yeah, there was a bunch of walls in this house,
and you, I don't think, planned on removing those walls at the time.
Once we realized that this thing's going to be a little more extensive as far as renovation costs, I'm like, okay, we're dumping way more money than the value of this property. I needed to take the value to a new level. So that's when we decided, okay, we need to take walls out. We need to just redo it from start to finish.
Pretty much what you were going to have to do anyway.
No, originally we weren't. Originally we were just going to take the insides, because it was, I mean, when I say it looked similar to this on the outside, it didn't look much different. You know, I mean, we put new shutters on it, we did paint it, we put new garage doors on it, but that was all after the fact. That was all after we originally were going to just put paint and carpet, fix it up, put a little fluff in it, and move it on down the road. Now, that was before we thought we could only get $120 for the property. I thought maybe $120, $130 at the most. We have this on the market right now for $225. And we'll probably get that. We'll probably get that or a little bit less.
Did you do an A or a B renovation?
I'll let you decide.
Well,
I'll let you decide.
Share the original numbers and everything with them, and
Well,
how
we
the deal
took
was
this
acquired.
property over subject to with $100,000. I think we owe like 90-some thousand on it now after a year. So we owe under 100 on a first, and then we probably put 25 in it. Maybe, huh?
That's not bad.
No, but considering we only were supposed to put 10.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like a lipstick on.
But we had very little holding costs. Very little holding costs because, I mean, we had our mortgage, but our mortgage is like 4%. Because we have a $100,000 first mortgage we took over subject to. So that's the majority of the holding costs. So that's why that's why I was like, okay, this isn't it's not like I'm paying, you know, $2,000, $2,500 a month on hard money costs. If that were the case, this thing would have been gone a long time ago. So our holding cost wasn't as bad as most people's. And I do private money, and I don't make any mortgage payments until I sell. So my holding costs are just my monthly carry costs with the mortgage, the first. So now I'll have all that interest with my private lender when we sell. I'll have to pay all that interest back, but I don't have monthly payments each month. That's just how I work it with them. So, questions on any of that?
Your original plan was just a minor, fluffy.
Yep, my original plan was to. I'll explain.
That doesn't sound like a DeRosa renovation.
It wasn't. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to talk the student out of this deal because I said the numbers were really, really thin. But it was his first deal. He was really interested, and Mike will tell you, you know, he was a little more motivated than, well, he's as motivated as any brand new investor could get. Okay? But there's nothing wrong. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I tried to talk him out of it, and I'm like, look, this isn't the greatest deal. And so I bought it reluctantly and inherited it, basically. So then I turned it into my renovation, the one that I would do. And now we're asking prices that I would normally ask.
Don, have you
So,
had any,
go ahead.
have you had any issues with appraisal? 'Cause I know this area-
We had not yet, really. I mean, we've had a couple that we've sold. I've sold probably 3 houses in the last 30 days, 45 days.
No, I'm talking about this house. Have you-
No, I haven't. No, because it's still on the market right now. We don't have an offer.
Because we know the area because we live a couple blocks away and
Yep.
we kind of where they are. And
Yep.
that's why I'll be curious to see what happens.
Yep. Yep.
So do you
We
think?
might want to go inside.
Yeah.
We're getting.
Do you think you have it listed right?
No, I think it's listed high.
Because normally you get multiple offers fairly quick.
Yeah, I think it's listed a little bit high right now, but you know, I have a partner on this, Maggie. She's been helping me, and she's done a great job. Most of the work that's done on the inside is all done by her. You know, I'll be curious because she and I both went in on this bathroom, and we both collaborated on this bathroom. I'll be curious to hear your opinions on it because I thought it was phenomenal, and the people at Floor and Decor thought it was phenomenal. In fact, they wanted us to take pictures of that, and so they could put it in their showroom. But everybody I talked to hates it. So because it's very millennial, very new. It's very most people, what I will say here at this age, may not like it.
Damon, you might like it.
Well, Damon's a millennial.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be
He might like
interested
it.
to see what different people, what their opinions are. So,
Did you design the house with a millennial in mind?
did I? Sort of. Because it's a starter. I mean, it is a starter home. So, what else you got? Hit me with your best shot. 'Cause
Can we do it inside?
we can.
One of the questions that I was asked earlier by someone, and I gave the represented the answer the best I could, not knowing all the facts. The couple that you bought the house from, you took it over subject to,
Yes.
which means they owed right at $100,000.
Yep. 99 some change. I think.
Thereabout. Did they get? What did they get in addition to you taking over their payments to help them move on their way? Me knowing the circumstances of the couple.
I don't, honestly, I looked at that contract the other day. I don't think we gave them anything. I think they were just wanted to get rid of it. I think maybe we gave them $1,000, but I don't know.
They had some disabilities.
They did.
So you helped them find somewhere else.
No, they found their own. They were already out of this house. This house was uninhabitable because it had a fire. And when the insurance company, whoever they used for the insurance work, did a really bad job, really poor job. And they took them for every penny of the insurance money. So they didn't finish everything. And they were an older couple, and they were both deaf. Okay, so they weren't blind; they were deaf. Both of them were deaf, and so we were dealing with the daughter. And we, obviously went through because I sign a little bit. I don't sign enough. They do read lips though. But when we went through the closing, everything was done through the daughter. And yep. You getting eaten alive?
Yeah.
All right, so just do me a favor. This is still actively listed. Keep the dirt to a minimum. Either take your shoes off or put one of these little high-tech booties on.
All right, Don, I'm going to leave your mic hot.
I don't know how this thing works. Matt, this is a Maggie thing. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a Maggie device. This is a Maggie. Just push down on it. Yeah, there you go. No. Just push down on this. Just push down. It should automatically. Yeah, I don't know. Do me a favor. I'll do the old-fashioned ones that I like. They're in. Who's in my? Hey, John. John. Do me a favor. Can you get in my truck right there? And there's a little red thing with white booties in it. On this side. Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem with those high-tech.
Oh, hey, John.
Yeah. It's taken two, actually.
Oh, there you go. All right. Here we go.
Just use these. These are old school. These are. If they're ripped, just throw them away. Or you can use these white ones right here. There's white ones right here.
I'll take care of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That used to be a window. This used to be a door. The door for this kitchen used to be right here. Okay, this, everything's new. Everything's new. This is a laminate. This is a laminate that's, a typical snap-together laminate. That's a desk. It was supposed to be a desk area. Well, it's not supposed to be. It is. Never. Everybody asks me that every time they see my renovations. They say, why don't you have a refrigerator? I never put a refrigerator in. Never. Not one time. I can tell you in the hundreds of deals I've sold, I bet you I can count on one hand the number of refrigerators that I've put in. People want to buy their own fridge, and it doesn't detract from selling. If they want it and they need it, they'll put it in the contract, and then I'll deal with it. But my experience is most people have their own fridge or want their own fridge. Now, and that goes back to your buyer too. If you're getting an FHA buyer that's barely getting by and is going in no money down and is doing all kinds of, I'm paying all their closing fees, those are the people that ask for refrigerators. But 9 times out of 10, almost 9 out of every 10 houses, more than that, probably 9.7% of every house that I sell, 97%, is conventional loans. I try not to do FHA or VA loans if I have a choice.
Okay. So you blew out walls in this room?
Yeah, so I can try to show it to you. I don't have very many pictures, so let me see if I can show you. This was kind of after we had started it. So you can kind of see this right here. That right where you're standing. Right where you're standing. See that window right there? That's the same window. That's the same window. Well, there was a wall coming right where you are, straight out this way. Okay? And then there was a wall basically right about here. Okay? Inside, so this was the door you walked in, and then it had a set of French doors right here that led out onto the deck. So the kitchen was, you had the sink. It was very, you can kind of see, it was not very open. These aren't very flattering pictures, but that was the fireplace behind you back there. No, over there. So it was very boring, very yucky. Okay. And then this was the master upstairs. They had a standard tub with the toilet next to it and so on and so forth. So we took the tub out, and people ask me all the time, why do you take the tubs out of your masters? And I always make sure the house has a tub in it, usually in the hall bath. The only time I will leave a master tub in the master is if the master is large enough to have both a very nice shower and a tub. Okay? Other than that, I take it out and I just put a really nice shower. Because let me ask you this: how many people still take baths daily?
Not daily, but you got those foam ball things, and those are nice sometimes.
There's the millennial talking right
You take out the tub and leave a shower in its place, and don't replace the tub in the master.
Correct.
As long as there's a tub in one of the main.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that's mainly because 90% of the people would rather have a really, really, really nice, because if you put take this for example, there's no way to dress that up and leave that tub in there.
Oh no.
There's no way to dress it up. There's no way to give you any kind of wow factor to that bathroom at all. And that's what's going to sell this house. So, oops, I don't know if that's what it looked like. Okay, so there's no, why is there a toilet? There's a toilet in
No, why is it set in the tub right now?
Oh, that's the latest thing, man. It's like a bath for your butt.
So,
it's a redneck bidet.
So I'll show you, for example, if I have a bathroom like this, I don't know if you can all see this, but if I have a bathroom like this that has a shower and a tub, like this had a garden tub, this bathroom right here was large enough to put a tub and a shower in there. Okay? So we ended up doing something like that.
How many square feet was that bathroom?
That should be on floor and decor right there.
Yeah, that one should. I love the tub, man.
Okay, so I don't always do that, but if I have a choice, as long as I have a bathtub, as long as I have a bathtub on the main floor where the kids can go take a bath, or if you decide you want to take a bath, you can go take a bath. But beyond that, I don't. That's just me. And it sells, my houses usually sell within hours.
We have 5 tubs in our house, and my kids don't even use the bathtub. We have 5 tubs, they take showers, and they're 10 and 11.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah, they don't take baths.
Right, and you know, you're always going to find someone that does, but on a rare occasion. I mean, most people jump in the shower, jump out. So if I have a choice as a person that's buying this home, do I want a really, really nice shower, or do I want an okay tub and shower? And that's generally speaking the what. So we moved the French doors from here over to there. That used to be a window. That used to be, it was still the dining area like it is right now. The only difference was it had a window there and a pass-through door right where you're standing. And that pass-through door was really, really narrow. And it only, I mean, literally, it was this big. And then the cabinets were right here. They literally started right here. And that wall, I mean, think about how much space in this kitchen if you put a wall here and here.
Did you resurface or did you do new cabinets?
No, these are all brand new. That's what I'm saying. Once I decided that, okay, this is no longer just a lipstick on this thing, we went all out.
What's the role
So,
of the cabinetry, if you don't mind?
this is, who's the cabinet? No, the cabinet company. I don't know. They're shaker cabinets, but I'm trying to think.
Panda?
Company. They're not Panda cabinets. They're Dave Lawrence's company.
Kitchen and Granite Direct. Kitchen and Cabinet Granite Direct.
Yeah. So there's that. We use Panda and we use Renovation Center in Norcross. So yeah. So we got a downdraft stove.
Can I ask you to comment on the difference in why the downdraft with this as opposed to doing one that's a built-in, or what the pros and cons?
Okay. We really didn't need this with the downdraft. It's for looks, basically. Okay. But this was, I bet you we spent $700-800 on this. $500 maybe. How much was it?
No, 239 is what it weighs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like $500 or $600. Yeah, this was like $500 or $600.
Is it vented to the outside?
Because of the glass. This is not, this one's not vented out. This one's a charcoal filter only. Okay. Now this, I believe, is vented out.
But as far as design, obviously this is gorgeous, but the design and what you get in return from the house, is this technique worth it?
Yes.
More so than just doing a built-in?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because the built-in stove is much cheaper. We could have put the stove right there, which has the back that goes up, kind of has all the knobs on the back. But we chose to open this up and give what we call like a living space. You could put bar stools here and serve and eat here with that. That's just a personal choice. That's kind of like my, I don't know, every rehabber I think has their little signature things they do. Mine is I like to put bigger islands with something in the island like a stove. You know, some people will swap. Some people put the sink in here and put the stove somewhere else. I would rather have the stove in the island. So, I mean, if you think about how you live on an everyday basis, how do you live on an everyday basis? I mean, I spent a fortune on my dining room. I have a farmhouse dining room set. Spent a fortune on it. We eat on it once every 2 weeks, if we're lucky. We come in, we grab something from the refrigerator, sit down at the island, and yeah. And you know, if my wife's cooking, everything we have in my house, it's very open, has an open concept. So if my son's watching TV or whatever the case is, we can have a conversation. That's just how most people are. You know, I've had some people say to me, well, Don, I like my privacy. Okay, go upstairs. I mean, seriously, if you want that privacy, go sit in your room, put your nice little chair there, and go. Because most people nowadays, they want open. And if you can't give them open, they're going to buy someone that does give them open. So, all right, any questions down here? By the way, if you're interested in like staging, we do 2 different stagers. This is a company called Design to Sell. They stage, and then we have another one. What's Heather's? Stephanie. Or Stephanie, I mean, why do I call her Heather? Stephanie. Designed by Stephanie. So we have two different staging companies. They do, both of them do a great job.
What's the name of the first one again?
Design to Sell. That's this furniture you see here. Yeah, she's. I think she's been doing it for a little bit longer.
Long time.
What kind of numbers?
Okay, the numbers are important. Most staging companies will charge you for what you see in this house. Will charge you about $2,000 to $2,500. Some cheaper, depending on like Stephanie. We're cheaper because we give her so much volume.
She charges the same price for every house.
Yeah, so whether it's big house, small house, whatever, it's the same price for us. But if you were to go, like this house she may charge you $1,800, $2,200. I don't know, depending on how much furniture, how much time she puts in. You know, I know Barbara will charge you $2,500, $2,600, $2,700 for something like this.
Is there any monthly fee?
There's no monthly fees, although they do put a limit, I think, of 90 days on this, or it's either 60 or 90 days. And if you've done your renovation correctly, that will never be an issue. Never be an issue. Now, I will tell you this. Do not let our houses go on the market and are off the market very quickly, within hours, meaning they've got offers. But they still need to be appraised. So don't let your stager take your stuff out of your house until it's closed. Okay? You know, because they may want to use that. They're like, since you're under contract and, you know, we'll move you. You leave that because anything can happen to your contract between now and the closing table. So keep it staged, keep it conditioned, meaning air conditioned, keep everything on. Keep it on. If it were up to me, I'd keep the damn thing on the market until it closed. I wouldn't even put it pending. But I don't think I'm allowed to do that. So.
Why are you not allowed to do that?
MLS service.
This MLS won't let you do that. They want you to put it pending immediately. Because they don't want false advertising out that people going to see on a house that they can't buy or they won't be able to buy. Huh?
They can still make offers, right?
Well, that's the agent's job, is to make sure when they bring you a buyer, that buyer's qualified and they're not wishy-washy. Okay. Yeah. So if you do a renovation correctly.
So you have the contingencies in there for the other offers?
No. People will say, hey, if it falls through, because a lot of times they'll fall through. Not every contract goes from contract to close. They just don't. That goes by, the other thing that I'll be able to tell you is, if you pick the right contract, your chances of getting to the closing table go up significantly. So, for example, like this is going to be, what? Yeah, be careful.
I know it's probably
Well, that right there, we don't have, they have our HVAC company has to actually make one for there because it's not big enough. We can't find one that fits that, so that's why that's not covered. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, how to pick the right one. So in order to pick the right one, you've got FHA type contracts, VA, you've got conventional, you have all different types of loans, I should say, not contracts, but loans. The FHA and VA loans are probably the most strict and stringent loans out there. Their appraisals are the hardest. They look at the appraisal differently. The appraisers look at the house differently, because most of those buyers, they have marginal credit or decent credit, but they don't have a lot of money to put down. They don't have a lot of money in savings. They don't have a lot of money to put down. Their debt to income ratio is generally higher. Okay, but they can get in relatively easy. Well, the government, because it's a government-backed loan, they are a little more strict and stringent on those underwriting. Well, all it takes is someone that's an FHA buyer, if they go out and they put something on their credit, they go buy something that they need, and it just happens to hit their credit, it could push them right over the limit with their credit or debt to income ratio or whatever, and they're done. So I typically,
Sorry.
that's all right. I typically will try to get a multiple offer situation, and then I pick. It's not always the one with the most that's willing to pay the most. It's the one that looks the best from a closing perspective. So I'll take one that's $4,000 or $5,000 less if I'm 100% or 99% certain it's going to close. You know, if they're doing an 80% loan, that means they're putting 20% down, but they're $5,000 or $4,000 cheaper than, you know, I mean, their offer's less. I'll take that over an FHA every single time, because I know that if the appraisal doesn't come in or whatever, I can always, on an FHA, if appraisal doesn't come in, it's a lot harder to fight. And those FHA appraisals stick to the property for 6 months. Conventional appraisal doesn't really stick to the property, and you can fight those a little easier. Because the homeowner has some say, I mean, the new potential buyer has some say in it too, like, you know. But it ultimately comes down to the underwriter.
Don, you said the renovation on this is $25,000?
Yeah, about maybe closer to 30 if I'm
With the GC
being honest. No, this was all done by us. A lot of it was done by Maggie. I got to give her credit.
How much were the materials, and then if you had to estimate?
I don't really know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I can tell you, if you give me specific things, I can answer those. But as far as like an overall, like this granite,
No, the whole island.
the whole island. Well, this kitchen is probably $7 grand. Seven grand for the cabinets, and probably another $3 grand for the granite. Between that, yeah, that's all this. Yeah.
And this is about probably three.
Yeah.
With labor and material, three.
Yeah.
Wait, so does that budget include your demolition and your disposal?
There's already demo.
It was, yeah, there wasn't a lot of demo. Because, I mean, we had this wall and this wall that was here, and we didn't even need to put an LVL up. I don't know if you know what an LVL is. It's a laminated veneer beam. We didn't even need, because neither one of these were load-bearing walls. In fact, when we took the drywall off, neither one of these walls were even attached significantly to the ceiling. Yeah, these weren't load-bearing walls at all. Which is one of the reasons why they made us do the truss gussets, because that's where all the load was being done up top. I know you can't see it. So.
May I ask you the color scheme? I know that light beige used to be in, gray's now big in.
Cold colors are old.
So the cool colors with the stainless steel and the gray tones with the granite is what the look that's really.
That's what everybody's.
Wait till you see the bathroom.
Okay, can't wait.
Everybody hates the bathroom, but I like it.
I like it.
Huh?
I think it's good.
You liked it? Okay. I liked it.
It's cool, it's clean.
Yeah. It's different. It's definitely millennial.
You're making his day. You're making his day.
Just remember what it looked like.
Artistic.
I'm sorry? Oh, booties?
Are we ready to go?
I don't. Is there any more white ones out there? Because these things, she has these. These are for that machine that doesn't seem to be working.
Hope your shoes are off.
Hey Don,
Yeah.
how much due diligence do you ask for when you're looking at a property? How much do you really need?
Define that a little better for me.
What is your standard contract language for how many days due diligence?
What's your max?
5-7 days.
5 to 7?
Yeah. If I have a big deal, like we just looked at a fire damage that literally, like, we have to pull the top off of it, and that's a 10-day due diligence because I'm going to need more time.
You did see it?
I did. We backed out of it.
Okay. Well, before you saw it? Yeah.
She backed out of it before. Yeah. So, yeah, normally 5 days. I mean, I don't know if you guys were there last night for Shark Tank. Like, Mike, he'll do a 24-hour due diligence. You know, I'm conservative. I want my outs in case, you know, do I lose out on deals to someone like Mike? Yeah, maybe. I'm okay with that. When I put a house under contract, I'm pretty certain it's a great deal. I don't ever go back and go, oh, God, I don't think, you know. Once I do it, I'm full steam ahead. You know, I don't ever second guess myself later.
For novices, do you recommend having an inspection done?
Yes, if you've never done this before, yes, it's probably a good idea. The problem is going to be is if you do what we tell you to do as educators, you're going to be making offers on a lot of houses, and you don't want to be paying $125 for every house that you look at for an inspection. So my advice is that's fine. If you find one that you want to, and you have it under contract and you're moving towards closing, you know, we'll get your contractor to look at it, make sure your numbers are good, and then if you want to have your inspector go in and do it when you have it under contract, but just to put it under contract to have an inspection, I wouldn't. I just, you know, bring someone in like me or someone else that knows what they're doing, take a look at it, at least enough to get it under contract, and then once you're under contract, then do your due diligence that way. But it can get expensive because you know, when I first started, you know, I did that for the first 4 or 5 houses, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just spent $800, and I didn't buy a single house. And I was like, I got to learn how to do this fast. So yeah, you guys want to go upstairs?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So
Come on up.
I get it. I can believe it. I understand that for mowing and corn mowing. Everybody just, you can keep these things, especially if we have this good.
yep. So
All right, let's get a shot. All right, everybody, this is the busy shower we were talking about earlier. Love it or hate it. You can let us know what you think via the Facebook comments. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little busy for my taste, but it's actually not that bad.
no.
Got a couple niches. Nice subway tile. Very different accent wall. Mm-hmm. 2 shower heads.
Nothing much. No. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get out of your way in just a second.
Is your different tile or it was just like a box?
So this tile comes in sheets. Let me go in here. Yes.
I'm gonna get out of here. Let me back out.
Well, if you look at the tile, it looks. Here, I'll come in. I'll show you. This wall tile is basically the same size as the floor tile. So each tile is these 6 squares. So if you look at how they're designed and the way they laid them out differently. So it didn't look like a runway. It had a very unique pattern. So it looked different, looked random. But they're the same 6 tiles over and over. Let's see.
8 tiles.
Let's see. Actually, it's 8 tiles. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. These right here. That's 1 tile. And then that's the same tile. And then that's the same tile. So these are all the same. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and then they break them apart to give them a better look, different look. Oops. So, what'd you think of my shower?
It's great.
It's some nice components. I'm
Do the millennials like it?
I would take a quicker shower. but I'm old, you know.
We've had, you know, I mean, it's one of those design elements. You either love it or you don't. Right. It's different than what you would look at. And one of the things that I like and I try to do is I try to do something different that when you walk into other houses in this area, you won't see that.
It's more custom.
Right.
It's more custom.
You won't see that.
Oh, sure. Now, how much is your bathroom cost?
This one?
Yeah.
Well, that bathroom had some issues because we tiled it. Well, we demoed it, and then we tiled it, and halfway through the tile job, the guy that was tiling it, we ended up firing him. And then when he did that work, the pipe that he put in behind the wall, he didn't solder. So we finally got another plumber to come in that he didn't know that, nor would anybody know that, except the original plumber. So we tiled everything, and then we turned the water on, and all of a sudden we had a swimming pool in the basement. So we had to take a lot of that tile down and start over, fix the plumbing, fix the issues there, and then fix the downstairs in the garage.
Did he not test it?
Huh?
Did he not test it before he put the wall?
I mean, probably would have
Probably not, but
No, I mean, if I'm a plumber coming in after the original plumber that everything's pretty much done, and
I'm talking about the first guy.
no, we fired him.
No, he
He
stopped.
left.
So, you know, it's already got the red painted, whatever that stuff is called. You know, whatever they paint the wall red to seal it, it was already done. So if I'm a plumber coming in, I'm going, it's already done. I mean, why would I think otherwise? Yep.
The fire. Where was the fire damage?
I have no idea.
Oh, really?
No idea. By the time we got it, the fire damage was gone.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't see any of it. I didn't see any notice of it anywhere. So whatever fire damage they had, it wasn't extensive. It wasn't extensive, but it was enough that they couldn't live here. So they replaced everything. It's just the contractors that they used were subpar, and they raked them.
You said they did. You had to redo the electrical or no?
We redid all the electrical in the attic. Not all. We had to redo, like, for example, this, you can't tell it now, but that window, when they installed a brand new window, both of those, and the one window on the right was either too big or too small. So when you look through this inspection, you don't really see that. I mean, it's not something that jumps out at you. And it wasn't until we started trying to open and close it that we went, and then you look a little closer and you go, oh, wait a minute, this isn't even the right size window. So
Were these insurance contractors from the insurance
these were insurance contractors, yes.
Did you, aside from the plumbing issue that you had in the bathroom?
Well, I think what happened was the couple, they got the insurance check and paid the contractors from the check. Okay?
But if we were...
Right, so the contractors charged them way too much and did subpar work, so all their insurance money went, it was gone, and they're left with, okay, well, we got all this stuff to do. I mean, we had to put a fireplace insert in there, the cap on the top. I mean, stuff that looked, from the outside, looked perfectly fine, but, the minute somebody starts a fire, this whole thing comes up again. So.
Aside from the plumbing in the bathroom, what would a person generally look at number-wise if they're going to look at houses to upfit a bathroom like that? About what would you figure for that bathroom ballpark?
Well, the tile for that bathroom is probably, for the floor and the shower, is probably only $300, $400, just for the tile. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
did you get all new fixtures, or you get a new toilet, new sink?
yeah, we got all new everything.
Yeah.
So your toilet's $100. Your glass, that was the most expensive part in that whole shop, is the glass. And that glass, I think, we ended up paying $800 for that glass.
That's installation too?
That's everything. That's the installation. That's the ordering of the glass and having them installed.
So about 2,000.
To do that bathroom's probably 2,500, I would guess. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but yeah.
That's what I said.
Now that bathroom is much cheaper because I don't think we replaced the tub insert. I think that was original, but everything else was replaced, and that was only, probably less than $1,000.
Are those tub inserts, do you guys ever do the acrylic paint over it to make it white versus yellow, manila color? Do you ever recommend that, or do you just pull the whole insert out and redo it?
I just pull the whole thing out and put a new one in. For me, it's faster, it's easier, and it's not a whole lot more money.
Yeah.
By the time you cut it out and move it, you're, what are you talking about, $300 for an insert, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Plus installation. For you to refinish it and do all that, you're there. And if you do it with a brand new tub, you never have to worry about it because there's.
Right. That's all right.
So I've tried over the years. I've tried to refinish stuff and do stuff like on a budget, and what I've realized is 85% of the time, 90% of the time, I end up paying the same or more, and I don't get as good a looking product.
Right.
So I may pay when I say pennies, a few pennies or a few dollars more, but it's brand new. I don't have to worry, and it looks better, and it sells quicker. So for me, on an entire project like this, I may add $4,000 of new stuff versus fixing something. Like those cabinets downstairs. There's no way I could have fixed the cabinets that were there.
Right.
Just wouldn't have made any sense. Bless you. Just wouldn't have made any sense.
Question here about the windows.
Yes.
I'm assuming that these windows were here before you came in the picture.
No, we put those in.
Okay. The question was if you have a preference of this thing or...
I have a preference, yes. I prefer not to put those in. I do. Because it lets more light in, it's easier to see out them without that lattice work in there, or whatever you call it, window panes. Why we pick those, that's a Maggie question. I don't know, I'd have to ask her. But it's a personal preference. I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to walk in here, and it could be because the rest of the windows were like that, and that's probably the decision, was because the windows, all their other windows have that in it. So you can't really have anything on that side of the house, one window without them and one window with.
Yeah.
That's why. I'm sure of that.
Unless you replace them all.
Unless you replace them all, right.
So they were all new windows installed?
Nope. Mm-mm. Remember, those windows were all replaced
Before. Oh, okay.
before with the insurance. That's why I say when I first got into this house, it was only supposed to be a $10,000 rehab.
Oh, okay.
Literally lipstick, and we were going to be in and out.
Okay.
And it turned into a lot more.
You weren't here for that yet, actually.
Oh, maybe not.
So now you kind of have to match up some of the stuff they already did.
Right. So I'm not a half-hearted person, right? I don't do things, pardon my language, half-assed.
I was waiting for that.
So I started to say that. I was like, yeah, you know what? People know what that is. I don't do things half-heartedly like that. I'm either all in or all out. And since we had gone that far, I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. And we just took it all out and started over.
Do you always do the 6-panel bedroom doors and closet doors?
I do, but there are other doors that you can choose from. These are just readily available. They're nice. You can get design. Yes, yeah. I do barn doors
like
a lot.
Like a space like this, I was thinking that would have been a good barn door.
You could have put a barn door. You could have. Well, the only way a barn door works is this way.
Yeah.
And we thought of that, and the only reason we didn't do that. This is a perfect example of. It's the hinge.
The hinge, yeah.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of we didn't really do anything to this door. This was the craftsmanship that was there. So now
It just needs shaved off.
it does.
Yeah.
Paint.
It does. But it's just one of those things. But if you'd have put a barn door here, you couldn't put this light switch here.
Oh, this is true.
Now, you could move that light switch on the inside. So when you open this door, you switch the light on here. Because in my house, my light switch to my closet's inside the door. So you could do that, but that's just another expense. And then you could have a barn door that slid this way. So yeah, don't sit on the bed.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't have milk crates underneath it. Normally they do.
Are the levered handles now the preference? To
No, that's just a Maggie preference. I like those.
Okay.
But I think she just chose those.
Okay.
And something like this is a personal choice for you. You can come out of the closet now.
It's Doug's idea.
It's not that kind of renovation, guys.
We still have.
Doug, you can go back into the closet.
New meaning to the word on-site. Instead of Mile High Club, we do the on-site.
We've been married 49 years.
So, yeah, like this right here is a personal choice. Congratulations. This is a personal preference. And I could care less one way or the other, as long as it's new.
Are you doing all silver finishes now?
I am.
Okay, so you don't do any of the brushed bronze or that black that people do now?
No, I'm not a
Silver.
black fan as far as finishes. I'll do black accents like pictures and furniture and things like that. I'm not a big fan of the contrast like that. Because I'll usually spend my design efforts in a bathroom. Now, if I wanted to do a black and white design element in a bathroom, that's one thing. But like out here, I probably wouldn't. I'm pretty traditional. I don't want to have people take note of things that they shouldn't. I'd rather them take note of that than take note of the handles. Okay?
You put a ceiling fan in every room?
I do.
The combo?
I do because there's no lights, unless it has another space for a light, because most people will need a light in their bedroom. So if you want to come in later and take that out, knock yourself out. Now in the living room, I may not put that because I'll usually have can lighting. If you notice downstairs, there's lots of can lighting down there. Okay? I didn't notice the fan. Do we have a fan down there? I didn't notice. No, I mean, it's,
In the living room?
yeah, I didn't notice. I don't think we did. I think we just did all cans. But like here, since there's no can lights in here, I would put the light.
Don, in relation to the doors, that's why I'm in the closet, by the way. The door is not a typical. I've never seen one like this in all my years. This is a paper thin door. Have you got a picture of that Dustin, from the inside?
Not from the inside.
Yeah, look at it from the inside.
So you want me to go back into the closet?
Yes.
Just when you thought you were
I love that. I love that. It's
Places
lightweight.
where the door handle is.
And no matter what, it's not going to stick.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You can't open this door this
Yeah, I've
way.
never seen one like that either. All right, you guys can all go into the closet.
No, I want it to go that way. I don't ever want it to go this way.
I've never seen one like that.
Very nice.
Can somebody clean this in here?
Yes, more.
Yeah,
it's
usually
like a
you would
shell.
put a door stop.
Yeah, like the outer shell.
Yeah.
Any other lessons learned?
Lots of them. I got lots of
All
lessons
right,
learned.
tell Don about some of these lessons you
All
learned.
right, kill the lights for me, please, on all those. That way I don't have to go back through the house. See if that lights on.
I'll go walk through here real quick.
Yeah, like $49 fan. Yeah. Just as long as I like the brushed nickel. I like the brushed nickel fans.
It's got the windows that come down
I think
low.
we got those at Costco.
Small, typical bedroom.
But this actually might be a new insert.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's a new insert.
I mean, it's super clean, obviously, so that's why I asked, because those things get yellowish color.
They do, and I think it was yellow.
Another bedroom about the same size.
I think it was. So.
Nice view of the front yard.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll have to do a vote.
So what did you guys think of my bathroom? Did you like it? Did you like it?
This is the hall bath.
Okay. You know, Maggie went out on a limb with that.
Didn't go too fancy in here. Just typical bath.
Oh, was it? Okay. Okay. That's not my normal taste, but I liked it. But I liked it. Yeah. Go ahead.
It does have a ceiling fan in here. You guys were asking about.
Not California closets, like the wood panel kind of.
Like the built-in.
Not worth it.
They can do that themselves.
Nope, they can do that themselves. They can do that themselves. Yeah, but that's because you work there.
Right, exactly.
But the thing is, you're not going to you're going to walk in and go, wow, that's a nice closet. Because you can appreciate a closet because you work there. 99% of them are going to peek their head into a closet and go, oh, there's a closet. Okay, move on down the road.
Yeah, if I ever did, it would be a master.
Yeah.
Where's the switch for the ceiling fan?
I don't know.
Which one turn on?
I don't know.
Might turn it off.
Is it a smart home?
No.
Oh, there's a switch right there.
They don't work.
Oh.
Remote? Is there a remote?
There's probably a remote somewhere that's hidden.
Is it?
In a drawer.
It's probably a remote somewhere.
There's a remote. Yeah, right, there has to be a remote.
There's a remote.
They probably hit it so it wouldn't walk off.
Yeah, exactly.
Try the door somewhere, that's why the lights come on.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a remote.
It is. I'm sure it's a remote.
It is a remote.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, okay.
So the other thing that we did, if I remember, was it here that we did that? Like we have. There is under cabinet lighting.
I bet one of those switches is going to be on.
Yeah, oh, there they are. Oh, the switch has to be.
It may not be turned on at the fan.
That's pretty.
So.
It's not wired for it.
It's not programmed.
And this is like 225 apiece or something. There you go.
Yeah, something like that.
There you go.
So you can, there's all kind of little things you can do.
Are they synced together? So
Yeah, there's a switch right over there. Like you can turn individually off. So you can turn them a different color.
I see that. It's got a yellow line.
Yeah, be careful with that. It's good to stand there and let it blow, but
Sort of, yeah. Yes. That's it, man. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Yes.
Probably should come in too.
That's what I say. When I did this, once I made the decision, I went all in. And you know, sometimes it bites me in the rear end, but generally not, because I can usually ask a lot more for the property. So there's nothing, I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing like this house in this area.
What was your ARV before you figured it out?
140 at the most.
And what do you have listed?
225.
And what was the difference?
Now, I don't know that we'll get 225.
Yeah.
I think we'll get somewhere 210, 215. That's what I think.
What do the other houses look like nearby?
Not like this. They look older.
Yeah, Snellville look old.
Yeah, they look older.
Come by ours.
So, yeah, I was going to say, we got another one down the street.
Cabinets get put in right now.
Kevin, so that one you can see in the middle. I'm gonna go look at that one.
we're actually going over there after we leave here, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go there if anybody wants to follow us and look at that one.
We've been there several times. You'll get to see how it's progressing for sure.
I'll follow you over.
You just can't walk in the
I don't
hall.
ever. I just put it in my GPS as the rehab.
Chrissy, give out the address real quick.
It's I have it marked in my GPS as the rehab.
2744 Green Valley Road.
Yeah, there it is.
2744
Green Valley Road Southwest.
Green Valley Road Southwest in Snellville.
Can't miss it. It'll be the nicest one on the street.
See all the contractors' trucks and driveway.
So we'll head over there, and we got to go over there and check on the job anyway. So if you guys want to follow us over there, you're more than welcome to.
Cabinets are going in today.
Yeah, it's a live job site, and they're over there working today.
On the cabinets here, look inside the cabinet and it doesn't look like it goes from there all the way to here. Or is that just an optical illusion?
What?
He's asking how deep they really are.
It doesn't.
This is a knee, it's not.
It doesn't.
It's a knee wall.
This, yeah, there's a wall in between here.
And then code is you can go.
That's very
12
observant,
inches.
Art.
Yeah. Code can go 12.
Very
inches out,
observant.
capture it with the granite.
No, there's a wall. There's a wall right here.
You don't have to have a knee wall, but you can.
There's a 2x4 knee wall on the back edge of this cabinet.
We're not doing a knee wall.
So this cabinet only goes to about right there.
Yeah.
And then you have a knee wall because that's where all
And
the
then all your
plumbing
wires
and all
and
the
plumbing's
wires and everything go up into that knee wall. Otherwise, everything's jammed in here in the back of this. You know, and they suggested that when the cabinet people.
See, my guy doesn't like them.
I don't put it in any of my other houses.
Yeah, we're not doing it this one either.
Yeah, I don't put it in any of my other houses, but I was like, all right.
Is it a code thing?
No.
Nope, because my electrician said there's no need
No.
to either.
No, it's just easy for
easier
them
To hide everything.
to hide everything and dump it. They put a hole and they dump everything in that open space, and they don't have to worry about jamming and being so precise back here. That's all.
Otherwise,
makes
they
sense.
just
I mean, it
tack
makes sense.
everything, I guess. Otherwise, they just tack all the wires.
Yeah,
Kind of
they just
nail
kind
them
of
in.
tuck them and yeah. Doug, you trying to figure that out?
Yeah, you got a space.
It's only there 2 by, it's like right here.
Where's the down ramp? Where's it go down?
It goes right
Because I got a stub exactly like
It
this.
goes down and out.
Your knee wall is only a
Because
2
it's
by
a flat
6.
back, with the exception of about 2 inches.
Yeah,
at
there's
the
a
top.
little hose on the back that goes down in there.
At the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Check out the backyard real quick
This is really hot without it.
before we start to wrap up. It's got a huge backyard.
This house? Yeah, driving for dollars.
So, it have a sale by owner sign in front of it, or just?
It did have a for sale by owner, I believe.
Nice big deck.
Yeah, I'm not cocking that.
Nice fenced-in backyard for pets. Very well shaded. Plenty of room for a pool. You can kind of see the neighbors.
Whatever. Whatever.
This one doesn't look
Not my
rehabbed.
issue. Not my issue.
That one looks rehabbed. That one's not bad.
It's very nice though. We spent a lot of money on that stuff. Actually, we may actually, if I don't know. I'd have to ask Maggie how much we actually spent on this. I think it was
New roof.
30 something. Not a lot. I mean,
Big party deck.
I want to make pancakes right now.
yeah, this is a nice stove. This is
I hate taking out that griddle.
yeah.
I hate taking out the griddle, leaving it, putting it back here, putting it down
He
there.
cooks bacon really well. Hamburger, the whole works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a griddle. And it heats up right underneath.
Nice.
You just wipe it right down. They're so easy to wipe down when it's hot. Yeah, wipe it down when it's hot. It literally wipes off with a sponge.
Why over here?
If you let it go cold down.
Over where?
Like a pan.
Cabinet door?
That's the door, finish it off.
No, nothing behind it.
What do you mean a door? Oh, you mean like a finished panel?
Like a panel is what he means.
Like a finished panel like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I normally do, but it's a budget thing.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, at the end of this thing, at the end of life, we were like, let's just get this damn thing on the
Yeah.
market.
Art's talking
So
about
a lot
having
of the stuff that I would
trim
normally
pieces
do,
here.
like finished panels, because I would
Finished
put a
panels.
finished panel here. Doug, what are you doing?
Doug, what are you doing?
So normally I would put a finished panel here, finished panel here.
I want to do it on mine.
Yeah, but normally to finish a kitchen,
Turn it all red.
in order to finish a kitchen properly,
Sticking out.
you don't have to do this, but it does make it look nicer with a finished panel, like taking one of these doors and putting it here. And same thing here. You finish this panel, and then you put a panel on the side of this. So it's not smooth. It's a regular panel. And it's usually 2 panels that you buy them. 2 panels that go here. And it gives you a finished look and a panel on the end here. So it gives you this kind of finished look.
So it's a panel but no handle.
Yeah, it's just a panel. It's just like a, yeah, it's just a,
It's like moldy or
yeah,
something.
trim piece.
it's just a skin that you put on it that gives it a decorative look.
And does this have a basement?
Just the garage.
This is split level, but this is middle, right?
Yeah, this is, well, there's a garage. If you go down into there, that's the garage.
And then the up. But it doesn't look like a split because you came in up the steps.
Yeah. It's, I mean, the house has nice curb appeal. It has a nice layout as far as the size goes.
It's got a huge backyard if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
Fenced in. Plenty of room for a big pool.
They had a pool in here at one time.
Did they?
Above ground.
Above ground pool.
You do anything in the garage special?
Nothing special.
Yeah, I didn't want to go down to the garage. It looked like a bunch of lumber and stuff down there. Storage.
Do you ever, I noticed
I'll
this
take a
story
peek in here.
fence with like a metal fencing, but do you ever do the wood fence?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll just peek down here with the camera.
Yeah, that stuff all needs to be gone.
Yeah, definitely show better. So they didn't do much out in the garage.
I do, but remember, this house has been on the market for, I mean, we've been screwing with it for a year. Okay. You can't grow grass out there because otherwise I would put sod because there's too much trees. We didn't have enough in the budget to take that tree down. So we did the best we could with it. We put a bunch of pine straw, and you know, any homeowner. I mean, with these many trees in your backyard, it is what it is. And the thing is, nobody in here is going to have a better backyard, a nicer backyard, just because of the trees. So no matter where you go, you're going to have. If you have these kind of trees in your backyard, you're going to have that kind of yard. I look at this the same way I look at driveways. People ask me all the time, they're like, well, do you fix the driveway? No, I don't. Unless there's a reason for me to fix the driveway, like if it's all buckled up and, you know, and nobody else's. But if you look at everybody else's driveway, they all look the same. So now if everybody had a nice, neat, stamped driveway, then yeah, I'd have to do that. But people don't get out and go, oh, look at the driveway. They don't. There will be other smaller things that make them not buy this house than the driveway. You know, I mean, they'll look in the basement, and I didn't notice there was that much stuff in there. But they'll look in there and go, oh. Now, normally, that should be finished. That should be painted. That should be painted, gray, and nothing should be in there. And someone's going to come in, they're going to look at that, and it's going to turn them off. That's. Is this supposed to be on the market right now? It is on the market. So, it is what it is. We'll see what we get.
Any final questions before we wrap up? It's true. It's true.
We're going to the other house at Green Valley. How do we go?
I would assume you go by car.
Well, I mean, which way is it?
I don't know. From here, I think you go out here and make a right.
I'm gonna put in my GPS.
Go out here and make a right.
You don't have a GPS? You don't have a GPS?
Left to Springdale.
You can follow me. How's that?
Was this unfinished?
Doug, I forgot. Doug's Rolodex is a stack full of business cards and a rubber band.
The unfinished garage.
What was that?
Is this where we're going?
Yeah, does that look right?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, was
I've
that
never
you?
been there from here.
Oh, it's like
It says Green Valley Road.
Yeah, I've never been there from here, so if Google says it, it's probably close enough.
Potential buyers to say, I don't want this house.
yes, it is. Yes.
Do you mind me asking, if you don't mind, the
Sure.
color you're using?
This is accessible. No, this is. It's either one of two things. It's either repose gray or accessible agreeable gray. I use accessible beige or agreeable gray.
That's the manufacturer.
Yes.
It really
Well,
is
the
better.
accessible beige turns gray or looks
It's like
gray.
a grayish, right?
Right.
It's like a
So
grayish.
that's what my house on my own personal home is painted. So at night it looks like this. During the day it looks a little warmer.
And
You might like
matches
that
the
one better.
beige your carpet too.
Yeah, if you have beige carpet or darker tones, like warmer tones, go with the agreeable. No,
Accessible.
accessible
beige.
accessible beige.
Accessible beige.
And,
Sherwin
and it's all
Williams.
Sherwin
Sure,
Williams.
it's all Sherwin-Williams. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it, really good.
Tell us about, real quick, about mixing the cools and the warms.
Well, you'll notice in here you have, now floors are a little different because most floors are always going to be a warmer floor. Now you do have cool color floors, but you can get away with, like this is a warmer color floor, okay, because it's a brown. But if you look on the wall, like a lot of times when you do a rehab, someone will do white cabinets and they'll do a beige wall. Okay, and then they'll do a different, like a cold color granite. Well, it doesn't look horrible, but your eye just doesn't understand why you don't like it. You'll look at it, and go, it's nice, it's rehab. I mean, you'll see rehabs that will have this type of granite and they'll have a different color backsplash. Okay, you'll notice I didn't go super fancy, and I don't go super fancy in any of my other houses with backsplash. Okay, backsplash is, I mean, a lot of times people want to make a splash of color with their backsplash, and when you have a granite, a busy granite like this, you don't want to go, and my wife taught me this, you don't want to go with a busy backsplash because your eye competes with the patterns and you're not quite sure why it doesn't work. It just doesn't work to your brain. Same thing with mixing warm and cold colors. You don't know why it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for your brain. So you'll notice throughout, even when we stage, you know, you got cooler colors along with all this stuff.
With the backsplash too, if you put something in it, it gets dated very fast.
It
Even
can
just
get
by
dated.
color.
Yes, it can get dated.
Now, what about your color choice of the front door? Because it's yellow exterior, which is warm,
It's not. Is it yellow or blue?
and the door's blue.
Oh, yeah. That's just.
So that's okay to mix the
Yeah. Yeah, you want your door to be a different color than the main
more of
door.
like a vibrant color to make it pop.
Yeah. You know, you'll notice when you go out on the ceiling,
I did see that.
that is a very pale blue.
Yeah, that's a southern
And that
thing.
is a southern thing that is supposed to be a very calming.
Yep. That's like a southern tradition.
Tradition. So I started doing that on the houses, and people seem to like it. It's different. It's, you know, I do a lot of beadboard on my ceilings and my porches because it just makes it look nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. Chrissy wasn't a big fan of the blue, but I like it. I think it kind of makes it pop.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all, and you know, I used to.
She thought it would maybe look better red. I'm like, I don't know.
I used to be a red or a black,
Red
meaning
and yellow,
I would
like
put a very
McDonald's.
strong, stark red or match the shutters with a black door, and they look fine. It's just, yeah, I mean, we're just trying something different, something new.
He's got light shutters.
Right.
That's more vibrant.
Yeah, it just gives it a different, you know, it's not hard to repaint if somebody doesn't like it. But generally speaking,
Well, you guys got any final questions before we wrap things up? That is a pretty cool fixture.
That's a Maggie question.
I zoomed in on it early. It is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
They get a lot of this stuff online.
I'm not a big fan
Wayfair,
of
Overstock.
like, stuff like that, like flamboyant stuff like that. I'm more traditional, but I like that.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get a lot of their stuff, like I said, on Overstock.com and Wayfair.
Or Wayfair. That may even have come from Costco's, for all I know. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of lighting stuff from Costco's.
Really?
Uh-huh. Like all this lighting, most of it came from Costco's.
Did you guys enjoy it? Yeah. Good. We are going to do a little impromptu stop over at our other Snellville project. When we leave here, we gave you the address earlier.
Yeah, take your little booties off and put them in my little red.
Just want to remind everybody, our next on-site renovation group is on the 3rd Tuesday of this month. I mentioned at the very beginning, we're going to be doing it over at Amy Ransdell's property in Marietta, so on the other side of town. So we hope you will all come out and join us. We appreciate you coming out today. Thank you so much, everybody. Say goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you later. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time, guys.